Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now today we are going to be soloing the Ghost Fleet. The first thing you want to do to solo a Ghost Fleet is don't. But once you decide you're not going to listen to me, go ahead and head to your boat and then set sail towards the nearest Ghost Fleet that you have taken the quest for. Under the assumption that they don't nerf the storage crate drop rate anymore, go ahead and head towards a specified location, as well as collecting resources on any small island that you may pass. Grab whatever resources you can besides those bananas, no one eats those. And maybe take a quick stop to KFC real quick. Once you have successfully taken the lives of the innocent, go ahead and get back on track. Make sure to avoid other players or they might steal everything you care for. Once you finish organizing your chest, because we know that OCD is strong, you are ready to go and fight. The hardest part about doing this is lining up your shots while making sure you still remain to have a shot. It's easier said than done. It's going to take practice. There's no way I could give you real tips besides just turn the wheel slightly, grab some cannonballs, and then just hope that you did it correctly and you'll learn from your mistakes. You hate to see it. If that's proving to be too difficult, another tactic is raising your sails slightly, turning it, and just buying yourself more time to actually shoot your shots. And then try not to ram. When you finally begin to take fire, don't worry about it, it's going to happen. Just ignore the holes for a little bit until you're safe, and then after you're safe, go ahead and look around. Make sure everything's okay. Worst case scenario, you can always leave the circle while you're still flooding, and then once you know you're in a safe area where you can't take any more holes, go ahead and repair it. It's a very slow process, but I mean, you're doing this solo. You know it's going to take a while. So you just go ahead and hop down here, make sure to get the stuff you need, repair any holes. If you're already flooding immediately, go ahead and bucket first. If not, then you're fine. Don't panic when you take a screamer. It just means that you need to get to the holes a little more urgently, because if you don't, well, you're going to be in some serious trouble. As you guys can see, we are now leaving the circle, meaning we are safe. We need to go further though, or they still can shoot us. Make sure to check ahead of you, so that way you don't ram into a rock, because if you ram into a rock, you're only going to cause yourself more problems. Once you're at a safe distance, go ahead and anchor, and preferably whip yourself if you can. And now that everything is in order, go ahead and send yourself back into the fray so you may suffer a painful death. Now personally, my favorite tactic is sneaking up behind them where you can shoot them but they cannot shoot you yet. This makes it so you take the least amount of holes while staying in a safe spot where you could just keep shooting them. Remember, we went into this low on everything, so if you can see some crates that you can shoot, go ahead and get them because you're desperately going to need those cannonballs. Now with that being said, please keep in mind that they do drop the storage crates, so if you're lucky and you could get a storage crate, you don't even have to worry about that to begin with. Unfortunately, in this situation, I am very unlucky with the drops, so I have to improvise a little. If you guys don't want to deal with this issue at all, just go ahead and stop at more islands. I only stopped at one before we actually got here. You've mentioned these storage crates twice, but what do they look like, you might ask? Well, I'll show you guys. It's right there, 3 little ghosts. Also, just for clarification's sake, just because I know that if I saw this video and I didn't know what to do, I'd think, how did he know that this was going to be the one that dropped the ghost crate? Well, to be completely honest, that was just luck. My original plan was to try that like 10 times and just keep repeating that phrase until it happened. That was first try, so awesome. You can either anchor, or if you want to play it a little riskier but at the same time safer, then just go ahead and try to catch it while you're flying by. If you're a potato like me, then you'll probably want to anchor. Except not when you're heading directly into a ship. That is something that you don't want to do. In a situation like this, just get yourself out of the circle once again, and then go repair the holes that are about to appear. I believe 3 holes will appear. I don't know for certain, but what I do know is you want to get rid of those holes ASAP, because one of those holes is very large. The other holes are fairly small. It looks like we had 4 holes, so maybe I had a hole this entire time, because the water didn't seem kind of high for a good bit. When you go across a fleet bow to bow, which means the front of the ship to the front of the ship, you're going to have a lot less time to actually aim. So if you do it at close range, it's going to be impossible to take them down in one fight. What I would recommend is if you're dead set on going bow to bow, then make sure you're at a distance so you have more time to actually turn it. It'll be more difficult to land your shots because of the range, but you'll have more time to do it. If you'd prefer to do it the easy way, just try sneaking up behind them without being directly behind them, because if you're directly behind them, they're going to drop these ghost kegs, and those ghost kegs do more damage than any other thing I've seen. When the portals appear, it means you've activated stage 2. Now, if you're doing a basic Ghost Voyage quest, this also means the final level, and you have to destroy the main boat, which has a fully intact sail. I'm looking at that one right there. The rest are tattered, as you can see right here. The fully sailed ones take about 6 shots, I believe. Don't panic when you see all those shots flying towards you. Just dip and dive if you can. Take some slaps. This is why we brought the chicken, and then get to safety. Now that we're in a little bit of a safer area, we can't be shot. We're going to straighten it out a bit because we still want to catch up to them without just heading directly into the storm. You completely forget that you never picked up the storage crate to begin with, and you're now out of planks. Just go ahead, stay slow, follow them without hitting any of the kegs, and just wait till you see that little storage crate and the ghosts above it. If you see you're taking fire from the rear, just move the steering wheel left and right a little bit and just try to avoid as many as you can, while also gazing in front of you every now and then to make sure you don't run into a keg. When you get too close and you know you're gonna miss, go ahead and anchor and hop off, assuming you're in a safe position to do so. Don't get greedy. You can always just circle around, take a few more shots. We got some wood, so we could afford taking those shots. Let's say they were a little bit closer. Just make a hard right and then take a long way around them. And then you'll be behind them, buying yourself some more time to get this crate. Just so you guys can see what I was talking about, let's say we barely anchored it. We're going to go ahead and flip it now so that way we could get out of the way. Pretend like the storage crate was still here. Now the reason why I dropped it then re-raised it is just to gain a little bit of distance while we did this. I'm also raising it and lowering it because the AI tries to predict how fast you're going and shoot like that. So if you're constantly raising it and lowering it, then it's predicting in the wrong areas. And then once you know you're finally past them and out of range, raise it all the way so that way you can turn around quickly and get behind them and then shoot them shortly afterwards. They're not even that far and we're already catching up to them. Now your plan of action here is really up to you. You could go in through the left side, which means you will catch up on them faster, but you will most likely take some shots. You could try going to the right side, but that means that it is going to take longer and landing those shots might be a little bit more difficult just because they're kind of turning away, so you're not really going to have a good angle. I can't really explain it well, but it is the safer route at the cost of running the risk of not getting rid of any ship. As you guys can see, the angle here for actually landing these shots is fairly poor. And this is what I was trying to say, is they're getting farther away, and now I'm not moving directly at them, which means that when I do correct my course to actually land these shots or get closer to them, it's going to be even more difficult, and it's going to take some time. Once you miss all your shots, you're going to go ahead and do like a snake maneuver. From being on the outside, you're now going to move towards the inside. This gives you the better shot chance, but it also gives you a greater risk. Make sure you're not going to crash into the island, and then just wait till you have a clear shot. Remember that this is the situation where I said you will be hit more. So you're just going to have to accept that by choosing to go inland. We've taken quite a bit of hits, so we're going to go ahead and straighten it out. Hopefully not get rammed by these ghost ships. and we're going to go ahead and start repairing. Never mind, we are perfectly fine. In this case, we're going to anchor it so we don't ram into these ships. Now we're going to go repair. Times like these seem really hairy, you know? You have holes everywhere, you can hear water all over the place, things are looking grim, it looks like you're about to die, but all you gotta do is make sure not to panic. So now that we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and turn the anchor all the way. We're going to raise sail, and then we're gonna go ahead and raise anchor. We know that the mast is still taking damage, so while we're turning, we're gonna go ahead and go repair that. Straighten it out. And then drop sails. When you see you're at half health, go ahead and munch on that chicken that we got earlier. And this is unfortunate. This is the kind of thing that you don't want to see. So my original plan would just be taking a sharp left and then just pelting them again. But because these guys have teleported to a very inconvenient spot where we are going to take hits, our new goal is to just get down and get ready to repair. We could open fire, but there's just no real point. Unless they miss everything, then we're fine. Never mind. Now, something I'd like to point out, which some people may not do, is I turned the wheel quite a bit, so that way when I finally finished repairing, I was still directly behind these guys. Nothing went wrong. I didn't lose any time. I just went back in, got on the steering wheel, straightened it, and now we're ready to fight yet again. Now, as you can see, we're starting to pass them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the wheel a little more to the right, just very slightly. You don't want to do it too much or then you'll end up ramming into them again. Now we just go for the main ship. Main ship is down because apparently we pelted it quite a bit and I didn't know about that. The main ship always drops supplies, so that's one thing you can guarantee on. If you're low on supplies and you know you can't handle this, just focus on the main ship, which if I remember correctly takes 6 shots unless you're doing Flameheart. If you're doing Flameheart, it takes, I believe, 15. But these tiny ones where you're just doing a quest, whether it's the Order of the Souls or the ones you buy from Duke, it only takes 6 shots. So once you take them down, get ready to get your free goodies. Since I know that the ships are not nearby, I'm just going to go ahead and anchor it right here. Check again to make sure the ghost ships have not teleported and that you're still safe. And that is when you're not safe. What I'm doing here is even though I know I'm going slower, I'm also sharpening my turns so I could get out of their firing range even faster. So what this did is it made it so I basically made a 0-degree turn, and once I was 180, I then proceeded to just zoom out of there. And now I'm making another 0-degree turn so that I could be directly behind them, and then I'm just going to zoom back, and now I'm chasing them. And this saves the most time because now I'm only slightly behind them. Sloop? That is a problem. That is an issue. People will try to screw you over. If you guys did not know, anything that you can shoot out of a cannon can do damage to these ships. It does not have to be a cannonball. It could be a fire flask, it could be a blunderbomb, it could be a chain shot, it could be a cursed cannonball. As long as you can shoot it out of a cannon, aside from other players, you can do damage to these ships. And I had to specify that because I don't need to be seeing, I shot myself at the ghost ship but it didn't die. You're a liar. I personally do not like using chain shots because they have a more limited range, which can really mess you up if you're not used to them. Ooh, now that's bad. This is one of the worst possible situations you could be in. Just do your best to swim away from your ship. You know it's in a circle, so you have to try to predict which way will take you to a mermaid the fastest. If that ship turns around too fast, then this mermaid will disappear. In this situation, we're anchoring it. We're going into full bucket mode, or else we're going to die. There's still a little smoke, so let's just splash one more just to be safe. Now that we're in a more safe spot, let's go ahead and check up on that sloop again. It still looks like he may be circling us, because if you look, his sails are slightly raised. That could be just to see. However, he has turned a good amount, which means there is still a possibility he is circling. Come on. Land it. Beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see. Now, the ship's all by himself. So you could do this two ways. You could still do it risky and guarantee you're going to take yourself some fire. Or you could do it the way I like, where you still play it safe, go for the snake maneuver again, go on his outside, or even if you don't want to do that and you still want to do the snake maneuver that is risky, at least get closer. Make your shots easier so you don't have to miss so many. If you're good at long range, then it doesn't really matter. But it just guarantees that you'll miss less, because everyone does make mistakes, and there's no point on giving a better chance at making those mistakes. There we go, and that's that. So thank you everyone for watching. If you like saw, go ahead and click that like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and hit that bell icon one more time if you want to get all notifications. I appreciate you guys spending your time here with me, and I hope that everything I've told you guys, everything I've talked about, actually helps you guys. Have a wonderful night, everyone, and once again, thank you so much for watching.